Well, hello IDS 105 students, and welcome to your focus video that's going to show you how to access your project draft templates and the overall template for your guidebook, which is your final project in your IDS 105 classroom. So first and foremost, I wanted to remind you that as you look to navigate from your assignments, you always want to make sure you're starting with the module that it's assigned. So your very first project draft is due in module 2 of your IDS 105 class. You can find that by clicking on Course Menu, Learning Modules, and when you do that, you want to make sure you go to Module 2. Once you're in there, as you guys know, as you scroll through the content for that week, you will see the different assignments. So for example, in Module 2, you have a warm-up on social justice, you have a project draft on social justice, and so make sure that you know what is due and when it is due. But I wanted to bring your attention to this actual project draft. There's a couple of places you can find it. One, underneath the module, but you can also click on this assignment information and you can click on module 2. You'll see they're all listed there. But when you do that, it's actually going to bring up what you are supposed to be doing. So for your IDS 105 project drafts, you're going to have several of them through the course. You are going to be using a template. If you do not have Office, Microsoft Word, please know that you can get Office 365 for free as an SNE2 student. So I want to make sure you know that. You can find that by contacting the help desk or going underneath here, Online Student Services, and scroll down to the Office 365 and follow the steps of the tutorial. For your actual assignments, as you go through them, you'll notice for this Module 2 project draft, it's going to give you an overview of what you're doing, and then you're going to have directions. So for this project, you are going to be actually picking a scenario. So you will notice that there are 3 different scenarios listed here, and then you have different conflicts underneath each one of them. There is a scenario profile that's actually located when you scroll down underneath supporting materials and the guidebook. What I encourage you to do is look over the assignment, and when you get to these scenarios, you want to scroll down, click on Scenario Profiles, and it'll actually open up this page. It'll give you more details about each one of the scenarios to help you pick what you're going to focus on for your project drafts, because once you pick a scenario, that is what you will keep for the entire term. And as you answer questions from week to week when those project drafts are assigned, you'll be thinking about the scenario you picked in your mind as you answer them, okay? If you get stuck or you have questions, make sure you reach out to your instructor. But I wanted to show you those couple of things. So just remember, when you go underneath Module 2, it'll have the overview. You'll see these quick examples of your scenarios, but to see all the details, come down here, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go, Scenario Profiles. As always, the project guidelines and rubric, how you're graded, is right here too. Now, you have a template for this assignment, like I mentioned. So when you click on this project template, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. It's going to pull up the actual project template that you're going to be utilizing all term long. That is what is so important. So our very first draft we're doing here in Module 2, but you will have other projects due in different modules. And it's very important that you pay attention to which week something is due. So for example, when you're looking at your Module 2 assignment for your very first project draft, you will notice in the template, and you want to make sure you click Enable Editing, you will notice in the template that you have to identify your chosen scenario. So remember, you had those scenario profiles, so you'll pick it, you'll write it right here, which one you picked, what you're focusing on. So make sure you put that in here. And you'll notice in bold, it says complete this section in Module 2. So you can actually type directly in here in the template. Whoops, sorry. So as you go through and type, you can type right there your answers. Remember, as you're answering these 4 questions, you are thinking about the chosen scenario that you picked from those scenario profiles, okay? So once you know that scenario, come in here, answer your questions that are due for this week. So this is Module 2. What I wanted to point out is, again, pay attention to when you are supposed to be answering which question. So part 1 is all Module 2. So that is all you'll fill out, and then you'll save it and you'll upload it to be graded. Now, in future weeks, when you have project drafts, I wanted to point out that you will see in bold when you are completing them. You'll notice that you have a couple right here that are specific to Module 4. You have a couple right here that are in Module 3. So they're not necessarily going in order. So pay extra attention to those spots. You'll see here's something you're going to answer in Module 5. Okay, so just remember too, if you use any kind of sources, quotes, information, data, it is optional, but if you use any of those, make sure that you cite them down here below. And if you're stuck with how to do that, you can always reach out to our wonderful SNHU Shapiro Library or work with our academic support writing team. So again, as you work on that first draft, you're focusing in here on these part 1 questions. Pay attention, every module, what you should be answering. And remember, as you're answering those questions, you are answering the questions with your chosen scenario in mind, okay? So if you get stuck, you have questions, don't hesitate to let your instructor know. We're excited to see how you respond through this. You'll be filling this out every time through all of the different project drafts assignment, and it's going to then complete up your final project, which is that guidebook. If you have questions, let us know. You got this.